Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you are new and you like budgeting and shop with me videos, make sure you subscribe to Virtual Access. So in today's video, I'll be doing a weekly check-in. This is the first one I'm doing of November. This is actually the third week for my weekly check-in. I'm gonna go ahead and flip on over to my calendar. As you guys can see, I'm completely empty. So what we'll be doing is from the 1st all the way to the 24th, but normally I do from Thursday to Wednesday, but you know, your girl's behind, so we're just gonna fill it out. It's not much. You guys will probably be really proud of your girl. I'm pretty sure I got a lot of no spend days. At least I think I do. I wasn't keeping up with my funds and receipts and things like I normally do. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. All right, so we're starting off with spending, which is in green. And the first day for spending was on the 19th. I'm not sure, I know where I went, but I'm not sure what I spent there because I got these expenses off my cards because you guys know I use my cards and I use prop money. I don't use real money. So I'm not sure where, I know where I went, I just don't know what I spent there exactly. So I did go to Hobby Lobby that day and spent a total of $13.38. I'm just gonna put HL for Hobby Lobby. And then the last day was on the 20th. And on that day, I spent $2.14, and that was at Dollar Tree. And I'm just gonna put DT for Dollar Tree. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I spent at them places, but those are the only two spending days that I had this month so far. So next is gas, and y'all know how I am with gas. We have a Ford truck and we have a Suburban, so yeah, we spent some money on some gas. So the first day for gas was on the 2nd. And that day I went to a store called Shell to get gas and spent $25. All right, so the next day for gas was on the 4th. And also went to a store called Shell. I'm not sure if it's the exact same one, but I spent $51.21 there. The next day was on the 9th. That day I went to a store called Sundu and spent $30. Yeah, $30 at Sundu. Comment down below, do you guys have these gas stations near you guys? Like some of these gas stations have like weird names, I feel like. I don't know if it's like all around the world or whatever. The next one was on the 14th. I spent $60 and that was at a gas station called Circle K. So the next day was on the 16th. And that day I spent $30 and that was at BP. Next day was on the 18th. I spent $50 at a Shell gas station. And then the last day was on the 21st. And I spent $44.24 at a BP. So when you see some of these gas transactions and they're like, you know, like they have, I don't know how to explain it. Like this one's $44.24, this one's $51.21, and how the rest of them are like even numbers, I guess, or something like that. It's probably because I use my I like DoorDash and use that money. That's what I'm thinking I did. But yeah, that's all my gas transactions for the month so far. So we're gonna move on to takeout. Takeout is in purple, and the first day for takeout was on the 4th. So on that day, I spent $13.91, and that was at Cookout. So the next day that I did takeout was the 7th. And on that day, I went to Arby's and spent $7.48 there. Y'all know I love my Arby's. Can y'all believe I haven't done any McDonald's transactions so far? So next was on the 14th. for takeout. And I went to Taco Bell and spent $5.02 there. The next day I did another transaction. And this one was also at Cookout for $21.40. The next one was on the 18th. This one was also at Cookout and I spent $6.69. I'm thinking I had got myself something, and right here I probably got me and Jonathan something, because that's a pretty big price right there. $21, I probably bought me and Jonathan something, and this one was just for me. Alright, so I have one more transaction. That was the next day on the 19th. Do you guys think it's gonna be McDonald's? Do you? Do you think it's gonna be McDonald's? Let's see. So on this last transaction of the month so far, I spent $5.04. And guess where that was at, you guys? Burger King. So it wasn't at McDonald's. Can y'all believe I have not went to McDonald's all month? And look at the transactions, you guys. I don't have that many transactions. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to gifts, because I don't have any fun transactions. So we're going to skip on to gifts. And the first one we have is on the 13th. And this transaction was $7.81. And believe it or not, that was a Chime tip. If you guys know Chime, not sure if you guys know mobile banking Chime. I love using Chime. That's how I get paid. I do work at Dollar Tree, so if you guys didn't know that, I work at Dollar Tree. I only work at one job now. I don't work at the other job. I did have 2 jobs, but I didn't work them but maybe a week or 2. And I let one of them go. So I gave Chime a tip for letting me go over. I think I had overdrafted on my account some, and I decided to give Chime a tip. So that's what that was, a gift, because my gift category tips are included. So I had one more gift transaction, and it was on the 19th. And this transaction was at Hobby Lobby, and I do know what that gift was for. It was for my boyfriend. I got him something that he been wanting, and I just want to go ahead and get it while it was on sale, because it was on sale. It was like $24, and I got it for like $12, something like that. So I decided to go ahead and give it to him. Just a home decor piece for his man cave. Yeah, so that is it for cash envelopes, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the sinking funds. All right, so I do have a few sinking funds transactions, and our sinking funds is in blue. And the first day was on the 2nd. A lot of these sinking funds, I have no idea like what category of the sinking funds it came from, but I just knew it was a sinking funds transaction. But like I said, I do know where I went, because I got a lot of these, almost all these transactions came from my transaction log on my, my card on my phone. So I want to go ahead and show you guys. I did take a picture of this is how I keep track of everything, but this is my transaction log of my sinking funds for this month so far. And as you can see, the categories is pretty empty until I got here to the bottom for this past week. Yeah, so the second, I'm not sure what I spent on, but I did go to Hobby Lobby and spent $5.40. The next day was on the 3rd. I'm going to flip this. The rings is getting to me. So the next day was on the 3rd. So that day I went to Food Lion and spent $22.14. And for the life of me, I was trying so hard to remember what it was that I bought from Food Lion. I have no idea what I bought. I mean, I know it's called Food Lion. It could possibly be food, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't food. I just can't think of what it was. But anyway, so the next day was on the 4th. And that day I spent $9.62. And that was at Rose's, which I'm assuming was probably on clothing for one of my kids, because I like to shop at Rose's for for my kids or whatever. So that, I'm thinking that's what it was, but I'm not sure. So the next day was the next day for the next transaction. So that day I spent $7.38, and this was at a Sundew. So that transaction was for my boyfriend. He wanted some cigarettes. Yes, my boyfriend does smoke. I cannot stand someone that smokes. Not saying I can't stand him, but I just really hate that. That's something I don't like about him. You know, I love him to death, but that's just one thing I don't like. I don't like when people smoke. But that's what that transaction was for. And then the very next day, on the 6th, I had another transaction. And this was $9.63 at Dollar Tree. Once again, I don't know what I spent there. Then we're going to flip over to the 7th, because that was the next day. I've been spending a lot of sinking funds this month so far. So on the 7th, I went to Shoe Show and spent $22.45, and that was just on some new shoes for work at Dollar Tree, because I do a lot of standing and walking around, so I want to get some shoes instead of my boots, because all I really own is flip-flops and a pair of boots and maybe a pair of sneakers, but they're like steel-toe shoes. I didn't really want to wear that around in Dollar Tree, so I decided to get me a new pair of shoes for work. I'm so glad I did. A lot more comfortable. And then I had one more transaction that day, and this was at Walmart for $5.38. Not sure what I spent there. The next day was on the 9th. Trying to make sure you guys can see. So on the 9th, I went to Food Lion and spent $9.62 there. The next day was on the 10th. I went to Walmart and spent $1.48. No idea what I bought at Walmart for that much, because I don't normally. Walmart and Dollar Tree is like the two places. If I go in there and I'm going to go for one thing, I'll come out with a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't need. But for me to spend just $1.48, like $1 or $2 at Walmart, is in my mind ridiculous. So I'm so used to spending like a lot more than that in those stores. So the next day was on the 15th. And on that day, I ordered online at Amazon and spent $14.96. And I just got myself some envelopes. Some new envelopes, which is the ones that are all in my bill binder. All those I had purchased from Amazon that day. And I had one more transaction that same day. This one was at Dollar Tree and I spent $7.49. You guys will probably see a lot of transactions from Dollar Tree, because like I said, I work there. It's hard. It's really, really hard to work at Dollar Tree and not shop. Like, I see something, I'm like, ooh, I gotta put it to the side so I can get it later. That might not be a good thing with me trying to budget and things like that, but at least it's a dollar store, right? It's not like, you know, something more expensive. The next day was on the 16th for sinking funds transaction, and this was at Walmart. I spent $6.35. And Walmart is like across the street from the Dollar Tree that I work at, so you probably will see a lot of Walmart transactions as well. So the next day was on the 19th. I had 3 transactions, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put those 3 strips on here because I do have room. So I'm just gonna do that, because normally I like to combine multiple transactions when it comes to my sinking funds, because that's what I do the most spending in, is my sinking funds. I have so many categories or whatever, but I only have 3, so it'll fit in my little cube here. So we're just gonna go with that. So the first transaction was at Dollar Tree and I spent $1.07. The next one was at Hobby Lobby and I spent $1.72 there. And the last one that day was at Walmart and I spent $24.80. And another thing, Hobby Lobby is also in that circle of places, Dollar Tree. is like almost next door to Hobby Lobby, and then like I said, Walmart's across the street. So that's why a lot of my transactions is from those places, because I'm so close to them. That is it for the 19th, and the next day for transactions was on the 20th. And I have 4 transactions that day, and I believe I can fit all those strips on here. So we're just gonna do that. 3, 4. All right, so a lot of these transactions are over budget, but this first one wasn't, and it was $1.07. I spent on my son at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. I think it was a pair of scissors or something he needed at home. These next 3 are over budget, and they're all at Dollar Tree. So this next one was $107 as well, and it was something I needed for the house. Not entirely sure what it was, but it was coming out of my household fund. And the next 2 is actually from my holidays category, and the first transaction was $9.63, and like I said, these are all from Dollar Tree. And then the last one was $3.21, and I'm pretty sure since they come out of my holidays category, that was for that was Christmas decorations, because we have a lot of those in our store. I have 2 Dollar Trees in my town, and the one I work at is the biggest one. We actually have a self-checkout in there and everything, you guys. It's crazy. So I have 2 more transactions for sinking funds, and those were all on the same day, on the 21st. I'm gonna put my 2 strips. So this first one was over budget. It come out of my holidays category, and it was $1.07 from Dollar Tree. And like I said, it's more likely, you know, a Christmas decoration or something like that, I'm pretty sure. And then the last transaction, which was not over budget, come out of my YouTube folder, and I spent $2.14, and this was also at Dollar Tree. So I'm assuming it was probably I'm thinking maybe the letters for my envelopes that I purchased from Amazon. I'm thinking that's what that was from Dollar Tree, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is all of my transactions for the month of November so far. All right, so I have my no spin stickers. Alright, you guys, so I just finished placing all my no spin days for this month. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful, you guys. I only had 2 no spin days last month, and to have so many this month, it's kind of sad. At the same time, it's like a bittersweet moment, I guess, because I know why I have so many no spin days. It's because, you know, we're struggling right now, but at the same time, it's really, really, you know, great. It's a really good thing for me. Yeah, so today's Thanksgiving. Honestly, this is probably gonna be another no spin day because I don't plan on going anywhere else today. But let's go ahead and go to our weekly check-in. All right, so as you can see, I have my weekly check-in to fill in, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that. The first 2 weeks I didn't do any cash stuffings. I did do one last week, which is the one. This is the week we're working on. It's the 3rd week. But we'll go ahead and fill in these first 2. So let me just go ahead and zoom in there for you guys. We'll go ahead and work on the first 2 weeks. All right, so I didn't add anything to my categories, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put that I didn't add anything to those. So I didn't add in anything for these weeks. I didn't have anything in my envelopes, you know, as the balance. I didn't spend anything for spending, so that's just 0. So for spending, I gave myself $60 to spend this month. I didn't spend anything, so it just left me with $60. So we're gonna move on to gas and see how much I spent. From the 1st to the 10th, I spent $25, $51, $21, and $30. So I spent a total of $106.21. I'm just gonna round that up over to 107 because I know I don't do change. So I spent $107. So I shouldn't have anything in my envelope because I didn't have anything in there to start with. So at gas, I gave myself $400 for the month, and I only spent $107 so far. So 400 subtract 107 is $293. Then we're gonna move on to takeout. So for takeout, I spent $14 and $8, and that was $22 for this week. And I didn't have anything in my envelope. I'm gonna go ahead and put 0 for the rest of them because I didn't have anything to begin with. So takeout, I gave myself $100 for the month, and we're just gonna subtract that from that 22, and that'll leave us with $78 remaining. And fun, I didn't spend anything. And I also gave myself $100, so I'm just gonna put $100 there. I'm really thinking about putting fun as a sinking fund. I'm not sure yet, but right now it's a cash envelope, but I think I'm gonna revert it over to a sinking fund eventually. So now gifts. I did not spend anything on gifts this week, so I'm just gonna put a dash. I gave myself $30 for the month, so that's what I have remaining. So moving on to week 2, we're gonna do spending. This is from the 11th to the 17th, which I didn't spend anything, so I'm gonna put a 0, and I'm also gonna go ahead and put a 0, which was left over in all of my categories. So at spending, I had $60 remaining. Didn't spend anything, so I still have $60. Moving on to gas. Of course, I spent some money on gas. $60 and $30. So I spent a total of $90 in gas. And I had $293 remaining, so that'll leave me with $293 subtract 90 is $203 remaining for gas. Now we're going to work out takeout money. So we have $5, $22, and that's it. So we have $27 that I spent for takeout that week. Takeout has $78 remaining. 78 subtract 27 leave us with $51. And once again, with my fund, I did not spend anything, so that leaves us with $100 left to spend for the month. And last but not least is gifts. And I did not spend any money on gifts during that week, so that is just going to be the $30 left over here. Just come on down here. Now your girl is caught up. Now we are on week 3. I'm just gonna zoom out so you guys can see the columns right here. So now we're gonna work on our spending. So spending, I did spend $14 and $3. $17 that week. Didn't have any in my envelope, which is correct. I don't have anything in it. Next is gas, and I gave myself $95 for gas. We'll see how much we spent. $50 and $45. So I spent $95, which was all I had. So I shouldn't have anything left over. And I know I didn't do the remainder, you guys. I will be getting there in a second. So gas now should be empty, which it is. Take out. I only have one transaction for 7, so my thing should be empty because I didn't put anything in it. And that is correct. It is still empty. Fun, I didn't spend anything, so it should definitely be empty. Fun is empty. And then gifts, I only had one transaction for $13. Didn't have anything in there, so I don't have anything in there still. Alright, so I had $60 remaining for spending. I spent $17. So now I have $43 left. Next I have is gas, and I spent $95 from that $203. Now I have $108. Next I have is takeout. I have $51 and I spent $7. So now I have $44 left remaining. My fun envelope, I had $100 remaining. Didn't spend anything, so I still have that $100 left to spend. And then last but not least, my gifts, I had $30 left over and I spent $13. Now I have $17 left for gifts. So that is it for my weekly check-in so far this month. I will be doing my monthly closeout next week for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, I thank y'all so much. My channel has been growing so much since I started in late August. I did create my channel in February of this year, but I didn't actually start being, you know, consistent and things like that until the end of August. And you guys have given me so much love with this budget community. Even with my shopping videos, you guys have been loving my content, and I thank y'all so much for deciding to subscribe and join in on the fun with the giveaway, reaching 1,000 subscribers. Make sure y'all check the description box for that link to that video. And I thank y'all so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to y'all for the next video. Bye guys.